Hi there, this is going to be a tutorial for Do It Again by Steely Dan. I posted a cover of this on my YouTube channel, I think back in 2016, and it's a little different the way that I play it now. It's pretty much still the same kind of foundation as what you hear in that video, but if you look at my more recent live streams, you'll find that I play the solo section is more extended, and maybe a little bit of the groove is different. So I'm gonna just talk about the way that I play it now, and I think it should still be pretty relevant to what is happening in the original video as well. So anyway, so let's get started. It's based in G minor. We're just in standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E. I apologize if my guitar is like slightly out of tune. Sometimes I don't always use a tuner or whatever. You're like, wait, he's not like fully in standard tuning. So it totally could be slightly, probably flat or sharp, but more likely that it's a little bit flat. So anyway, so standard tuning in G minor. Really important part of the technique for this song, the way that I play it, is to thumb the G chord, the root note, like that, and using the index finger to just lay flat on those bottom three strings. So you don't have to do it this way. You can just use a regular bar chord. You're just going to bar the whole third fret across all 6 strings, plant your ring finger on the A string at the 5th fret, and you have a G minor 7. So, but it's a lot harder to do the lead riffs and stuff in between. So this is a good place really to try. If you're not used to doing thumb chords, this is a great neighborhood of the fretboard to get started doing that with, right around the 3rd fret, because the neck is narrower here, and it's a little easier to manage than higher up where the fretboard starts to get taller, and you need a bigger grip and wrap around to get that grip holding firmly. So give it a try. Try that this thumb technique. It's very, very freeing when you play this way, that you can really easily do your leads and pentatonic scales and things. So anyway, so the groove of this is where we play that root note, and then we play the chord, and then we play that root note again, and transition up to the 5th fret, and then we play the chord there again. So it's almost like an A minor, G minor, and then when you come back to the G minor, you hit all of it together. So you hit the bass and the chord together at the same time, whereas before it was just separate. I usually do something like that, where I'm pulling off. What's really nice about G minor is that you can do these really fun pull-offs to the open strings of the G or the D. So instead of going like, which you'd have to do in wherever else you were going to play, if you're going to play in any other key basically, here we can just pull off that D string. And then I do that 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th time I hammer onto the root note at the 5th fret on the D string. And then I usually do this little lick. Something like that. So I'm sliding up to the 7th fret on the G string, using the middle finger to play the 6th fret on the B string, and then sliding back. So it's like 7 sliding to 5, pulling off to 3, and then I do that's 5 sliding back and forth to 6, pulling off again. And that's just like 5, 3 on the D string, 3 on the G string twice, and then 5, 3 again. Then I usually do something like that. that, basically. I do these riffs slightly differently every single time. That's why I'm playing them again and again. I'm like, how do I play it? I don't really know. So it's just, this is the general approach, and this is the way it is with all of these tutorials. Like, I don't memorize the licks that I play. I have a vague idea of what I want to do with them, and I pretty much do them kind of the same way every time, but sometimes I throw little variations in there too. So I can never settle on like, this is how I play it. It's just not ever that way. And I think that's a good way to be as a musician. Not playing everything verbatim the same way. But anyway, so this is like the A string walking up like the blues scale, 3, 4, 5, to the D string 3, so that's 3, 4, 5, 3 on the D string, 5, 3, and then 5, 3 on the D string, 5th fret, and then 5, 4, 3, 1 on the A string, 3, 1 on the E string, and then sliding back. And I usually find the thumb again. So I do a lot of these kinds of rhythmic flourishes and stuff as well with the strumming. And then always going back to this little minor chord, 5th fret on the A string, using the 4th fret. And we're gonna land in this chord, which is C minor 7. So that's barring the 3rd fret from the A string down, ring finger plants at the 5th fret on the D string, middle finger plants on the 4th fret on the B string. And then we're going to slide that up from C minor 7, play the root note at 3 and 5, and then I'm going to play the same chord shape at D minor 7. So same shape as over here. And then this is E flat major 7 or D sharp major 7. Really we should call it E flat major 7 because we're actually, our key signature is F major. So does that make sense? Yeah, so it should be E flat major 7. Anyway, so this is the 6th fret on the A string with the index, 8th fret on the D string with the ring finger, 7th fret with the middle finger on the G string, 8th fret on the B string with the pinky, and the first finger is barring at the 8th fret, or 6th fret, sorry. So we have C minor 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7, back to D minor 7, and then and this is a good groove to spend some time on. Just go around and around. And that's like bass, chord, bass, bass, chord, 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 bass, chord, chord. That's the rhythm of that. That I go to here is a diminished, this is F sharp, or sorry, it would be G flat diminished. So that's at the root note is on the A string 9, 9th fret, ring finger with the middle finger, and then the ring finger on the D string 10th fret, index finger on the G string 8th fret, pinky on the B string 10th fret. So, and I do a lot of slides into this chord. So it's like, I'll play the bass note and slide that in, and then I'll strum the chord once I arrive. So it's kind of a cool, remember we can use diminished chords, exact same shape, every 3 frets, or 3 semitones, and it re-inverts the chord basically. So these are all the different, usually inversions you have to change the grip of the chord, but with diminished chords you don't. You just literally move them up 3 frets. So that's really cool that you can use them that way. So we have. So usually I go to either a G minor 7, same shape that we did down here at the 10th fret, or I'll play G minor 9, which is A string 10 with the middle finger, D string 8 with the index finger, G string 10 with the ring finger, B string 10 with the pinky finger. So I'm just playing the chord, just squeezing down and then releasing, and I might do some muted strums like that. So by releasing, it just means that I'm letting go of the pressure with the left hand. I'm not pushing the strings into the fretboard. I'm resting in the chord shape. You can see me pushing and releasing there. So every time I release, that means the strings are muted and I can do more just rhythmic. So I'm going to use this chord a lot in the solo section later on, but I use it just in that part of the intro. And then I come back down to F dominant 7th, which is X 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, with the index finger barring. You can see the shape of it there. Back to E flat major 7. Back to D minor 7, C minor 7, back to the root. So that's again holding the root note with the thumb, first finger barring on the bottom 3 strings, ring finger does the same thing at the 5th fret, and that's like the 3 strings, D string at the 5th fret, and the 3 strings again on the G, B, and E. Finishing on, this is a D, 7, sharp 9. Bluesy chord. So that gives you a lot of what's happening throughout the song. Everything that happens in that intro section kind of gives you the pieces that you need to play the verse. It's just the G minor, A minor. So sometimes I play it like a bar chord, sometimes I fret it like a thumb chord, sometimes I try to get the brighter, higher strings like that. Sometimes I play more the middle or lower strings. So what's happening there? 2 muted strums, down, up, and then down, down, up, 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 down. And I'm releasing again with the left hand. And I'm also getting this kind of slapping thing happening with the right hand. So when I slap it, it comes down with the downstroke, and you hear more of a percussive beat there. So it just makes it sound funkier. And I might throw in like little inversions like that. I might add the 9, the 5th fret on the high E string with the pinky, which is the A. And that's all of that stuff is really what sets the foundation for the way I'm going to approach the solo section. But essentially, you want to have that groove down between the G minor and the A minor for the verse section. And then the chorus, go back, check, do it again, we'll turn it round and round. So it's all the same stuff that happened in the intro. the chorus sections with that same thing again, where I go up to the G flat diminished, and then the G9, minor 9, and then descending, the F dominant, E flat major 7, D minor 7, back to C minor 7, and then finishing on that D7 sharp 9 chord. So all of that like I said, that happens in the intro section is going to be what carries you through the other sections, the verse and chorus sections of the rest of the song. And so really all that's left to talk about is some of the stuff that I'm doing in the solo. So again, this is all improvised, always improvised. I always play it differently every single time. But there are some themes that I come back to. I do a lot of these pull-offs. Remember I was telling you about you can use the D string or the G string to pull off to the open note, which is awesome. It gives you a lot of really fun pull-off licks that you can do because it's easy. You can just pull off to the G string. So if I can go 5-3-0, 3-2-0, I'll practice switching between those. I might go up to 5-7. So it's just pulling off to the open note. And then I could do just a single pull off. I don't need to do the double pull off like that. I could just go. So all of these fun little combinations, you can do it on the D string too. All of these fun little licks. That's another one that I do, 5-3-0, landing on the D string at the 5th fret. So you have two G's there. You have the G that's open, and then you have the G that's fretted. And that's an upstroke, down. And I'll do the same thing at the 3-2-0 position, landing on the F. So those are a lot of fun to play with, so try those out. So what I'm really thinking here is that we're in the key of F major. That's actually the key signature that we're using, so that means that the mode that we're playing in over the G is Dorian, which means we have G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, and G again. This is the scale. That I'm using. Could even go back down there. So we want to be able to play F major all the way up the fretboard. So that's something that you can look up. I don't need to go through that note for note with you here. It's if you just look up on the internet, F major, the key of F major on the guitar, they'll put all the dots on the fretboard everywhere you need to go. That's essentially the scale that I'm using to play. I might use some blue notes. I might walk up to notes like that. Or I do a lot of these little slides. So that note's obviously outside of the scale. I'll just play it briefly. But all of this is just G Dorian, G minor Dorian, or F sharp, or F major, sorry, if you want to think about it that way. And then once I get going, I usually start to get feeling really funky with it. I get into this very rhythmic way of playing, which requires a lot of practice for sure, and muting the string, so gripping the thumb around the root note, so you're always hearing that bass note. And even a good little riff to work on is trying to get the D string independent or not independent, but just the low E string and the D string happening, and going like that 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, triplet pattern with the right hand going down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. I'll do it on the A string, 3, 4, 5, D string, 3, 4, 5. Could do it on the G string too. So all of that, practicing that riff like that is going to really improve your muting, making sure that you're muting all the other strings that would otherwise be open. So you need to make sure you're using the shaft of your index finger, the tip of your index finger, the tip of your thumb to mute any of those extra strings you don't want to hear. And then I'm going to use that sound, the A minor triad and the G minor triad. I might slide up to the, what would this be, like the B flat minor triad. Not much secret here, other than that you have to be muting very, very well, so you have the clarity of all the notes. And so I'm always going back to that bass note. You're hearing that constantly, and I'm accenting these other chords. Alternating, but the accent kind of will happen sometimes on the down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But in between those accents, I'm always going back to the bass note. That's another good exercise to work on. I'm very touchy with it, so I'm very just squeezing very briefly to get those short sounds, as opposed to longer sounds like that, right? So this is a fun little riff that I've been doing a lot recently. I let go of the thumb because I need to stretch to hit this double stop, the high E string and B string at the 6th fret. And then I go 5 to the 8th fret, and then 6 to the 10th fret. And I can switch between my finger doing the bass note and my thumb. And this is what allows me to not really need a bass player so much during the solo. Obviously you're super limited, there's not a whole lot that you can do and you can reach for here, so it's where I try to use the rhythmic accents and the feel to make it more interesting and fun. It's just a good jam, and you know, you just explore your own rhythmic possibilities and how you can feel the rhythm and those accents and what comes naturally to you. A lot of the accents that I'm playing didn't come naturally to me necessarily when I first started playing this song, but now I've been playing the song for a good 6 or 7 years, and so it's taken all that time to get to the point of me improvising and using all the riffs and styles that I incorporate in the solo section. And actually that's the thing, if you listen to the original version that's on YouTube compared to the way that I play it now more recently in my live streams, you can see that there's a lot that has developed and changed through that process. And so I encourage you to do the same. So eventually I kind of get bored of being down here and I move my way up to the G minor 9 chord. X, 10, 8, 10, 10, X, and then I go to C minor 9. So it's the thumb on the 8th fret on the low E string, first finger's barring from the D string down on the 8th fret, pinky is playing the high E string at the 10th fret. I'll switch between them, kind of create that groove. I might throw in some other chords here, so that all chords that I can use are from the F major family. So F major 7, G minor 7, A minor 7, B flat major 7, and then C7 or C minor, depending on how I want to voice it. Sometimes I do this as like a 13 chord. So this chord for me could either be C minor or C7 or C13. C13 is just like 8X, 8, 9, 10, X, using the pinky to play the B string. So it's a great chord inversion. I'll use them chromatically. This is like a Wes Montgomery kind of trick from taking that minor 9 chord, moving it up. I'm borrowing the high E string as well sometimes. You don't have to do that though. You take the high E string out. And I'll do these little flourishes. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. That for a while, eventually find my way. This is a tough one to get. I might finish up with the G minor, just it's the same one as here at the 3rd fret, just at the 5th fret, 15th fret. So I have a shoulder here, right? So I don't have a cutaway, so it's a little harder. So almost the last fret I can reach to do a bar chord like that. Right? So that's really the foundation of what I'm doing. So you kind of have the scale that you can work with, the Dorian mode, a lot of rhythmic accents and muted kind of pentatonic sounding things like that, and then using some of these quasi jazz chords to make it sound like somewhat like jazz. All that stuff, just trying to keep the rhythm in my mind. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to keep that metronome going in my mind so I don't lose the downbeat, and then just push myself and try to find these other fun little syncopated rhythmic things that I can do. But that's a lot of what it is, a lot of pentatonic riffs, Dorian, F major, and lots of chords, pull-ups. I might use octaves. Very Wes Montgomery style again, trying to kind of fill out my lead lines. So practicing those octaves. This is just 2 strings, A string, 3, G string 5, or D string 3, G string 6, B string 6, sorry. So that kind of takes care of what's happening in the solo, or gives you some ideas to try anyway. And then, yeah, then that's basically it. It's just the other sections of the song all over again. Usually when I finish the song, go up to that diminished. I might do something like that. It's just 2 notes per string. That's those diminished chords. Bass, chord, three semitones higher, bass, chord, ending on the G minor 9. Do my little fast strumming technique with my middle finger. And G minor 13, add 9. That's basically it. That's Do It Again by Steely Dan, my version of it anyway. So hopefully that helps give you some ideas to try with the song. Have some fun, improvise with it, challenge your rhythm, put your metronome on and play along, lock in with it, and try to push your rhythmic sense as much as you can. And so there's another tutorial for you to try, and I will see you next time with another tutorial soon. Cheers.